A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John, chapter 8, verses 31 to 42. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Then Jesus turned to the Jews who had claimed to believe in him. If you stick with this, living out what I tell you, you are my disciples for sure. Then you will experience for yourself the truth, and the truth will set you free. Surprised, they said, "But we're descendants of Abraham. We've never been slaves to anyone. How can you say the truth will free you?" Jesus said, "I tell you most solemnly that anyone who chooses a life of sin is trapped in a dead-end life and is, in fact, a slave. A slave can't come and go at will. The Son, though, has an established position, the run of the house. So if the Son sets you free, you are free through and through. I know you are Abraham's descendants, but I also know that you are trying to kill me because my message hasn't yet penetrated your thick skulls. I'm talking about things I have seen while keeping company with the Father, and you just go on doing what you have heard from your father." They were indignant. "Our father is Abraham." Jesus said, "If you were Abraham's children, you would have been doing the things Abraham did, and yet here you are trying to kill me, a man who has spoken to you the truth he got straight from God. Abraham never did that sort of thing. You persist in repeating the works of your father." They said, "We're not bastards. We have a legitimate father, the one and only God." "If God were your father," said Jesus, "you would love me, for I came from God and arrived here. I didn't come on my own. He sent me. Why can't you understand one word I say? Here's why. You can't handle it. You're from your father, the devil, and all you want to do is please him. He was a killer from the very start. He couldn't stand the truth because there wasn't a shred of truth in him. When the liar speaks, he makes it up out of his lying nature and fills the world with lies. I arrive on the scene, tell you the plain truth, and you refuse to have a thing to do with me. Can any one of you convict me of a single misleading word, a single sinful act? But if I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? Anyone on God's side listens to God's words. This is why you're not listening, because you're not on God's side." The Gospel of the Lord.
Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. John, chapter 8, verses 31 to 42. Wounded Healers. Our father in faith, Abraham, is the subject of the Gospel today. In our Christian faith, we can find the same sense of false security as the Jews in their claim to be descended from Abraham. Many Catholics take pride in their traditions but often neglect the Word of God. We fight to defend our traditions while leaving the Word of God stranded on our bookshelves and pulpits. It is not our centuries-old customs and traditions that we Christians should take pride in, but God's forgiveness and mercy. No merit on our part has made us Christians. Our regular attendance at church is not because we are better than others. Sin also chains us, but we are freed by the Lord who forgives. We should be able to repeat to ourselves, "I have been forgiven, I will forgive and will be an instrument of reconciliation." Pope Francis tells us that the knowledge that we are wounded sets us free from becoming self-referential and thinking of ourselves as superior to others. The people with whom we interact and live do not expect us to be superheroes. They expect us to be companions with all our weaknesses and limitations. Wounded soldiers become bolder. Wounded Christians become more loving. Our daily prayer begins with, yes to the Lord. Here I am, Lord, sinful yet loving, wounded yet willing.